Hey guys, welcome back to podcast number 2 of the Nordic Vortex Trigun. I'm Dustin, sitting here with Sean Nelson. How's it going, buddy?
It's Friday, man.
It is Friday.
It's late. It's Friday. It's the middle of January, but we're doing good.
We are doing good. It is chilly today.
Very cold.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough of that. Let's get into this. For everybody that may have missed the first podcast, the Trigun, I'm just going to throw the dates out there, Sean. The Trigun's June 21st through the 23rd. It's at Forest Lake Sportsman's Club. We will have 9 fun competitive stages and a couple of side stages, or like a side match, I should say.
You are correct.
Yeah. I mean, we already have a lot of companies that have committed for it being this early in the year. So let's go ahead and get a kind of note on who those are.
So we've got our title sponsors. Very appreciative of Nordic Components and Vortex Optics back again this year for the Nordic Vortex Trigun.
Right.
Following up some confirmed sponsors on my notes, we have Luth-AR is back again, Hunter's HD Gold, and I have Thunder Beast listed. I know you've got a couple that I don't.
On my list, I have Hodgdon
Powders.
Hodgdon Powders.
That's good.
And I made a verbal commitment earlier today for JP. We will be attending the Nordic Vortex Trigun again. So
I'm happy to hear that.
Yes.
That is confirmed here tonight.
That is confirmed. JP will be at this match.
Awesome. Well, and I'm sure we're going to get more rolling in. So
it's going to be an exciting season. The Trigun is an exciting match itself. I know phase 1 of registration has opened up. So everybody that has shot the match in the past 3 years, go check your email, check the spam, whatever it is. Sometimes these emails get sent over to spam. So check those so you can get signed up for this match. And phase 2 will be opening up January 28th. That's just a couple weeks away.
Yeah, that's right around the corner here.
And that's going to be our division. Phase 2.
What division is that?
The best division, which is any heavy division.
Any heavy division.
So if you're shooting heavy optics and heavy limited, you will be allowed to register January 28th through February 3rd, I believe.
Yep.
And then we will go into phase 3, which will be Thursday, February 7th at 8 p.m. This will open up to the general public, so everybody can come in. Everybody can register for the match. And that's probably going to fill up again in less than 5 minutes, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to last much longer than that. There's already a lot of anticipation around, so...
Right. So everybody's probably wondering why or what this podcast is about. We're going to get into the match rules. And something very interesting has came about in the this week alone. Mm-hmm. They revised the rules on the 16th of January. So 1/16/2019, the Trigun guys got together. They changed the rules up, and we have some pretty large changes.
We do. And those changes, some of you might have seen them already. They are live on the website currently. Jomar has published them to NordicVortexTrigun.com. But let's dig into...
And I do want to say a quick note before we jump into these notes. If you are a local or you shoot any local matches here in Minnesota through the Minnesota 3-Gun Group who runs the Trigun, these rules do not affect any local matches. These rules are strictly for the Trigun.
Correct. The restrictions will be for the Trigun. We need clarification on some of the other ones. But before we get too far into that, let's look at the actual changes in the rules. And, I'm going to start because you talked about heavy being early registration coming up here.
Yeah.
Let's cover heavy first.
All right.
Let's look at the rule changes in heavy and why you might be excited about that.
So we're going to go to section 6 in the rules here. So if you're on the website, go look up the rules, go to section 6. Actually, it's section 6.4.2.
642. Yeah, that's the item of interest here. And if you go down to 6427 in the heavy optic division, it reads no more than 20 rounds allowed in any magazine after the start of the stage time. That restriction's gone.
Donezo.
On heavy optic.
So I mean, I really think this rule change came about because of Magpul's newest release. That's how I feel, right? Like Magpul released the 50 round drum for the 308 on Monday of this week in anticipation of the SHOT Show.
Mm-hmm.
Last podcast, we had talked about a drum. We had talked about allowing us to run larger mag capacity, and they opened it up.
The timing does line up pretty good.
Right.
So with that and heavy optic, let's cover heavy limited division. And you'll notice 6528 that no more than 20 rounds allowed in any magazine after the start of the stage time. Magazine sizes shall not exceed the original 20 to 25 round capacity configuration. Extended magazines, magazine extenders, and oversized base pads are not allowed. Drum magazines and coupled magazines are not allowed. So that's a little bit tighter.
So when I first read these rules, when they were first emailed over to us, I did not make it past the drum magazine. So when we were talking about these rules earlier, you brought to my attention that the coupled magazines are not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. Not a lot of guys actually have a coupler for their 308s. So a lot of guys use, some duct tape, a couple different objects in between them to get a coupled magazine, and that's out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, I believe it's anything larger, right, than the 20 round magazine?
The original 20 to 25 round capacity configuration. So I'm reading this to understand the 25 round magazines they're a go.
Okay.
But you may not have more than 20 rounds in.
Right. So how many rounds you've had in there, there's no change to that.
Correct.
The only true change to this is that the drum magazine, mag extensions, and couplers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
And moving into 653 heavy limited shotgun, 6537 heavy limited shotguns shall not be loaded with more than 9 rounds at any time. Magazine tubes shall not physically hold more than 8 rounds at any time.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, we're getting with the shotgun, we're going old school heavy metal.
Yeah.
So for those that are unfamiliar with the heavy division, we have 2 divisions. We have heavy optic and heavy limited. We're one of the only matches that have both divisions. Heavy optic, you can run a 308, of course. You're going to run a semi-automatic shotgun and your 45 caliber pistol. Heavy limited is a pump shotgun, your rifle, and the same pistol.
Mm-hmm.
So really the only difference in that one is the pump. And I'm just saying that because for clarification, I've had some people email me thinking that you had to run a pump in both divisions, but that's not the case.
Right.
So
some matches they do run that way, but this one is not. Previously the only separation was magnified optic versus non-magnified and a pump shotgun.
Right. So for some people who only have a 12 round mag now on their shotgun, you can plug it. That is legal.
Right.
You just cannot hold more than 8. And I don't know how they're going to confirm that, but
well, if there's suspicion, I'm sure they will check. That's not something I would look to test because
no, you're going home.
Well, you're not going home. You're going to get bumped to open.
Oh, you get bumped to open?
I would imagine you'll get bumped to open, or in this case, possibly.
Yeah,
heavy
optic.
optic.
I guess you would get bumped to.
You're going to go heavy optic.
You think? Yeah, heavy optic.
So, not worth the risk.
No,
if they call you on it.
Right, that's cool.
Yeah, so those are the big changes in heavy. That's pretty exciting to see that. I think it changes the game a little bit, maybe makes it more appealing for some competitors. For others, maybe they're not excited.
I'm really on the fence on what division I'm going to run right now.
I am as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. Well, since we're talking about divisions, let's get into the other division that has some rule changes.
Yeah.
That's going to be section 6 under 6.3. TAC limited.
Yeah, so we have the little bullets, 6328, no more than 32 rounds allowed in any magazine after the start of the stage time. Magazines size shall not exceed the original 30 to 32 round capacity configuration. Extended magazines, magazine extenders, and oversized base pads are not allowed. Drum magazines and coupled magazines are not allowed. So we're similar to heavy limited, but with your standard 30 rounds on the 223.
I feel like the biggest thing for this, I feel like this rule affected TAC limited more than it affected heavy limited.
Yeah.
Because you see guys out there running a 40 round mag with the mag extension. So they'll have 45 rounds in their mag.
Yep.
I don't see a whole lot of TAC limited guys running drums. I know a couple of them have them, but I don't see those guys running them very often. Coupled magazines, not allowed. That's huge.
Yeah, that was big for me in the past, shooting that division. The coupled magazines were nice.
Yeah.
If not for capacity, they were nice for the stability.
Well, I mean,
Going prone.
Coupled magazines, right? Exactly. Going prone. A lot of guys run those going prone. You know, in the past at the Trigun, coupled magazine maybe really comes in effect going prone on one stage. Other than that, it's usually got some stages that have got a high round count with the rifle where you want that coupled magazine, but that's out. So
yeah,
that's going to be cool. I'm really excited to see these TAC limited guys go at it now in this division.
Yeah.
Their gear is pretty much all going to be the same when it comes to mags here.
Yep.
So,
and I think it's, especially this match, it's going to offer that much more separation between TAC limited and TAC optics.
Right.
When you put these round restrictions in, and that's moving into TAC limited shotgun. Same story here. TAC limited shotguns shall not be loaded with more than 9 rounds at any time. Magazine tubes shall not physically hold more than 8 rounds at any time. So there's some load plans are going to change with that too.
So I feel more on TAC limited, of course, again, that these rule changes have really affected the guys who could shoot fast versus the guys who have some of that technical skill, right? You now with this magazine capacity on your shotgun, the guys that can quad load, they're going to have an advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, will they? I mean, quad loading or dual loading, you know, maybe dual loading gives you a little more flexibility depending on where you're going to load. If you got 6 rounds in the tube, you only need 2 more.
Right.
So it changes things for guys like me with like an 8-up caddy where it's built to grab forward time.
Right. Right.
So there's some changes there, or considerations at least.
Yeah. It's still, I mean, it's going to be a skill-based division for sure at the Trigun. And I'm interested to see who's going to come in. I'm sure Nathan's going to come back. Nathan Payne's going to come back, going to defend his title. I'm curious to see who all jumps into this division or who leaves this division because of that mag capacity on the shotgun.
Another important thing to note with TAC limited is the pistol has not changed. There's no rule changes to the pistol.
So you can bring your 2011 out and have at it.
Yep. That's still going to qualify.
Cool.
So moving on though, let's go to the more technical side of the rule changes here.
Yeah.
And they've got 2.2.2. A stage disqualification shall be issued for abandoning a firearm, loaded or unloaded, elsewhere or outside an abandonment box or barrel.
Okay, so I know there's a rule change, or
what does it mean?
Right. You talked to Jomar.
Right. I did talk to Jomar. I got some clarification on this, and really it should mean nothing to a lot of people. But on the logistical side of it, they are trying to change some of the dump boxes or staging boxes.
Correct.
Away from actual boxes that so many people have come to probably not like, because they're not friendly for quickly abandoning.
Are you talking about like when you run up there and you dump your pistol in there and it knocks your safety off and you get a stage EQ?
Well, I can't make any promises there.
Oh.
But I'm talking about you javelin your shotgun into the box.
Oh.
And maybe it starts to lean. Whereas they're moving over to barrels is the intent here. So I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that.
Sorry, I was the only one that got a stage DQ at that match, so that was clearly my fault. I just thought maybe we might get rid of that guy too.
Well, nope, that's still in there. And so let's move on to the other set of changes that somewhat relate to this. And we're going to go all the way down.
Yeah, we're going to be moving into section 11.
Yeah,
gets into scoring here.
So 11.1.16, they basically took out 11.1.16.3 and made some other changes to the text here. It used to be quite long, and I don't have it for reference, but just real briefly, unsafe and improper abandonment of firearms covers an unsafe firearm that is abandoned in a designated abandonment box or barrel shall incur a 60-second procedural penalty. So, in the event where you dump your pistol and the safety rides off, you're not going home. It's a 60-second penalty. A safe firearm that is abandoned in a non-designated abandonment box or barrel shall incur a 30-second procedural penalty. And this one plays into, I believe, the way they want to do the abandonment and making sure written stage briefs are followed. But we're just going to have to see the layouts and take mind of this.
Yeah, I think some of this is going to be for more clarification of a stage and make it where it's actually easier for the competitor to understand what the infraction is for during a stage. And you know, getting rid of that stage queue and getting a 60-second procedural penalty, that definitely hurts your score. But you're able to stay competitive in the match. You can still get back up there. You're going to have to fight a lot harder with the 60-second penalty, but it's a lot better than a stage DQ or even a match DQ, which some matches still do to this day.
Yeah, there are some that probably still have that. But beyond those technical changes, we have... Let's touch on the senior division or special categories. And we talked about this last time around, but here it is in writing for clarification. Senior is defined as a competitor 55 years old or older, but under 65 years old at the first day of the match. And super senior goes on to define competitor 65 years old or older at the first day of the match. So we've got those two in there. And the last bit of housekeeping on the rule changes, and this actually is not a change this year. This was put in place last year.
Right. I think partly why we're bringing this up is last year some people were still confused about this, so we're just going to kind of hit it. We're going to kind of hit it a little hard on a lot of these podcasts here so people truly understand this.
Yeah, and that is pre-staged long guns shall have the muzzle or magazine tube touching the base of the staging box or barrel.
So no gaming.
No gaming. And talking with Joe Meyer, it's a safety concern. You probably gain a little bit of speed, but it's just not worth it.
Right. I mean, we've all seen somebody have a gun staged in a gamer way that has not worked out very well for them. So this is just safe for all competitors, the ROs, the competitor that's actually shooting, and just people that are, you know, there to watch the match. The Tri-Gun is one of those matches I've noticed that so many people that are not even shooting the match, they come and they sit, especially in those competition bays, the hottest bays in the entire match. There are so many people out there just watching everybody shoot. So, you know, we need to take care of everybody.
Right. Yeah. And it's not been a problem as far as safety infractions go. This is just a good way to keep it that way.
So, you know, I want to just touch base on this. If anybody reads these, you know, goes through the rules, they have any question, feel free to message us asking us, and we will talk to the Minnesota 3-Gun group, the guys that are running the Tri-Gun. We'll get clarification for anybody. If you have any questions, just let us know. We'll get them taken care of. Other than that, you know, like we said earlier, we do have some sponsors that have already jumped on board. We're going to hit them again. We have Luth-AR, Thunder Beast, JP, Hunter HD Gold, Hodgdon. I never can pronounce
Hodgdon.
that. Hodgdon.
They carry my favorite part of the CFE 223. I'm excited to see them back.
You know, so those guys are you know, huge for this. And then of course we have our title sponsors, Nordic and Vortex. So, you know, it's never too early or too late to go over there and thank them for everything they've done. Right. They really make the sport possible for a lot of us. So, you know, take a little time out of your day. If you're on social media, which most of us are, just send a message over there and say thanks for everything. You know, little stuff like that goes a long ways. Anything else you want to touch on, Sean?
No, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. It's getting late. It's Friday, and the weekend is coming at us. And for me, I get 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah. You get no breaks. So.
I get like a day. So have a safe weekend. Have fun. And we'll see you guys all at the Trigun.
Till next time.